Sorry, actually.
All right. Welcome to the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Short Acres for November 10th at 6 p.m. Can you please call the roll?
Ramos,
President?
Alderman Grayson, Alderman Bell,
Present.
Alderman Hill,
Present.
Alderman Mitchell.
Present.
We have a quorum.
3.0. Oh, no, I got it. We're good. I'm relying on a cheat sheet, guys. I'm sorry. Alrighty, so. All right, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry, guys. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. 3.0 special presentations. 3.1 Chad Burke Economic Alliance Houston Port Region.
Do you have your?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your
I thought the city secretary did
Yeah,
this.
I did too.
I was just about to go with this thing. It'd be a really short meeting if you don't put it in there. Oh, on there.
On there.
Sorry. That's the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Top one or the?
Oh, second.
Second one? Yeah.
By Vance, just tell you.
Oh,
Oh, wait, that's not gonna let us. We don't have office down here.
Shouldn't there be PowerPoint?
Do it off the.
Okay.
yeah, that's a PDF. It's just.
Yeah, just do it off that. Yeah, behind it, the next windows.
Right here.
Zoom packet.
Here it is.
She went home.
Is it on the city website?
I was trying to drive her home. She's not.
I can forward a PDF of it too. I actually have it on my phone. That means that she called it. Oh, the suspense is building. I better be good now, right? All that for nothing.
No, I was. Oh, yeah. He's saving money on Microsoft.
Perfect. Okay, so.
Also have to scroll and stuff.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm not Chad Berg, Chad Carson, the Economic Alliance. I'm the Vice President of Economic Development there. And for your benefit, he thinks he gets paid by the word. I do not, so it's much short to that. So our mission to market and grow a vibrant regional economy, and I'll get into that here, kind of the activities that we do to accomplish that. And then, really driven by economic development, and that's my role. You can kind of consider me the region salesman, and then Chad Burke, really the product development guy with public policy, transportation, workforce, holy life, and then insights, thoughts, leadership is a real fancy way of saying events. So it's all to drive growth, development, policy, make it the most sought after destination in the world to invest in petro, maritime, logistics, and manufacturing. This is our footprint, obviously, right? You guys are part of that. 450 private sector members, 13 cities, communities, Port Houston, and Harris County. That's okay. Next one, please. There you go. So this is our activity for the last 5 years, or I'm sorry, 15 years or so. 84 projects we've been involved in, about 19 billion worth of capital investment and 4,600 jobs. There's been way more investment in the Houston Port region than that, but that's just stuff we've kind of interacted with. And you can see, no surprise, roughly 55% petro, 20% manufacturing, 19% logistics. And I think any regional economic development agency would salivate at a yearly average of 5 projects, about 1.2 billion in capital investment and 278 jobs a year. And this is the current pipeline. This is what I manage, 19 projects, 5.9 million in CapEx. Look, that it should be a comma there, 2,600 jobs. And again, no surprise that the industry makeup. Early stages of that evaluating, and what fills that leads from the governor's office, Greater Houston Partnership, and then just our interaction with those 225 members or so. And these are our wins, our announcements for the year. Songlawn, both of these are actually in Pasadena, 15 million capital investment, 28 jobs. They do kind of blending and whatnot. Marathon, this is a storage tank facility. They had some issues with the city of Pasadena, and about saved them about 1.2 million to tap into the water main for the city of Pasadena. They were having a hard time kind of getting any traction on that. What I say is, he always says, "Aw, shucks," when I say it, but Chad Burke, folks pick up the phone for him when he calls. If we call, it's usually pretty important. You know, he gets things for us that way. And then this is just kind of, I did a presentation at the industry forum recently. I'll try to be quick, but just the things that we're watching. Bio-based projects, basically biojet fuels. I have 2 of those in the pipeline. Carbon capture and storage. This is really kind of more out in Liberty. This project's about 20,000 acres. And really what's fueling that is the state's taking out of the primacy permit. And that brings permitting process rather from the federal government to the state, get that done in weeks and months versus years at the federal level. So that should open that up for us. Energy power, again, the state's effort of the Texas Energy Fund, that's a low interest loan that folks are taking advantage of to retool their facilities and put more electricity on the grid. Petro investments, the conversations we've had with folks, it's really down right now, but the sky isn't falling. We'll see more of that towards the end of 2026, where they'll come back on their investments. And then obviously, right, the port, guys are right here, right? They went from 2 million boxes to 4 in about 5 years, and potentially up to 7 with the 3rd terminal towards Cedar Port at some point. So we'll really, follow any type of support structure around that over the next couple of years. So. And then this is just, actually, we had, just across the water here at the Maritime, actually not across the water, right down the street, but at the Maritime College, we had about 7 site selectors there. These are guys that nationally have projects, do an analysis of where to locate. We bring them into the community, give them an overview of Harris County, the port, and just really kind of get them up to speed of the assets and infrastructure that exist here. Hopefully I'm going fast. Obviously, again, you know where that is, right? Busiest port, export port in America. The impact, roughly 1.5 million Texas jobs, 3.4 million in the US. About 20% of the state's GDP is coming out of this region, all fueled by the port and the petro facilities. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
This is kind of it would be animated, but it's not. So it's kind of the cycle of life, right? We are that manufacturing engine. It's great jobs that folks are making a great living at. I'd say some of the highest standard of living and production jobs probably in America. Driving that retail housing demand that then is fueling us buying consumer products. And basically, probably speaking to the choir, right? Everything you touch plastic in your life starts in that ship channel in a pellet or specialty chemical, gets shipped through the world, comes back. So it's going out as that chemical export and then coming back as that consumer product that we're consuming. Go ahead. And this is just the commodities. I think this was updated. Might be a newer one, but again, you can see what we're consuming, those consumer products, and what's going out, those resins and specialty chemicals. And then again, this is Mr. Burke really working on that product. We go to DC once a year. Aaron organizes roughly 40 meetings and corrals about 50 of our members there. So Hopefully she stays doing that over the next year. We'll see. I think it's like herding cats for is what I say. And then, these priorities aren't Chad and I, it's really the membership base that, bubbles that up and we put them on this white paper and we go sing from the same book as a region. They like that, it's across Hasset business, the colleges, politicians, the industry, all saying the same thing. So they don't have to figure out what the priority is. We really tell them what it is. And then this is the state level one. You can see, hopefully, behind you on that, the local government autonomy is important to obviously our cities, and we're up there speaking that. Transportation infrastructure. Again, I mentioned that nearly 19 billion capital investment, but probably over 100 billion has happened. So, we need to move product and people and, impacting safety. We're acknowledging that growth that has happened and then enhancing the investments that folks have made and then the infrastructure that's rather aging in the region. And then this was an effort really, I want to say it was around 225 project, Highway 225, where, we bring together industry, cities, and, every kind of association you could imagine. Again, prioritizing what the region is, saying as one voice, officials at TxDOT and trying to get these things funded. And I'll here in a minute. And then just recently, this was a rather important meeting. Because, if Burke was here, he'd tell you that the next legislative session is probably going to be tagged the infrastructure session. And we're really putting our effort out there to make sure that the projects we have infrastructure wise are going to get the light of day. So we had the speaker, Dustin Burrows here, you can see in the middle with the port out there. We had the Bay Area Transportation Partnership, TxDOT, industry talking about our priorities. So before the session, he knows, what we're talking about as a region. And hopefully, again, it becomes a little bit more of a light on it than what it is now. This would be animated too, but you guys have lived through this. You're still living through it, right? That's us. 146 expansion. The bridge was some time ago completed. And then, 225, you'll see here, I don't know if it's in there. I might have taken it out, but currently there's an overlay going down. I don't know if you've been on the western portion. You're literally floating along now. It's pretty nice. It's like, whoa, where am I? It doesn't feel like 225. So that's happening and eventually will come all the way out, but ultimately it may become a double decker. They've agreed to study the expansion. You can't go out, but it's probably going to go up. So we've got the light on it for them to acknowledge it. The next step is to fund it. And then what's happening out there too, I don't know if you've been through the interchange there, is 5 flyovers, right? You currently come off of 225, you take a right turn or left turn, wherever to get on a beltway or the bridge going north. So next couple of years, you're just gonna fly over. You're not gonna have to come down and deal with, like you're coming out of a football game after the fourth quarter, right? So working on that. But and then workforce and the college over here, industry got together. Industry says we need certain programs. College is like, okay, we'll do that. You see that world-class facility over there. You see the world-class facility on Fairmont at CPET, right? They're doing the right things. So they turn to us, well, how do we get students in there? So we've taken on kind of the marketing piece of filling that pipeline, no pun intended. We're really kind of here in the process. Go ahead. We have a lady on staff who I think this morning said she's probably at touching about 5,000. Yeah, between administrators, parents and students going out and giving presentations about the path through Sanjak to get into these careers. Again, probably some of the highest standard of living out of a production job in America. So she's out really telling that story. And quality of life, I think you guys have taken advantage of this yourself, that flagpole when you come in. We're talking about, gosh, it's been about 4 years. I thought it was like 2 years ago or so, a year ago, but this is our effort to really kind of engage with the communities, the cities, in an effort to beautify safety. I think this whole apparatus might have been at some point too, several years ago. And then again, this is the real fancy way of saying events. Chad Burke says we're not an event organization. We do 9 to 13 events a year. There's roughly, well, this one doesn't have the numbers on it, but it's roughly about 3,000 people a year that we entertain between those 9 to 13 events. This is the big one at the Pasadena Convention Center, the Gulf Coast Industry Forum. And then this has really come on over the last, say, 3 years or so. And I always say the first one was pretty funny because it was right after COVID, right? And nobody got to get dressed up and whatnot. The first ladies meeting out of that, you would have thought these women were going to a prom or a wedding the way they showed up at this thing. Because I think everybody was just itching to dress up. So this has been very successful. We have 3 of these a year. Every one of them has been sold out. And it's really about highlighting a female in industry, not really just talking about her job, but just kind of the path of her getting there between being a mom and school and career. It's pretty inspiring when you go, please attend. Guys can attend too. Oh, that's it. So that's it. That's us in a nutshell over the last year. So awesome.
Yeah, and I'll make a comment. You guys are responsible for this too. We didn't have this ability until y'all.
Right.
I think we halved it a couple, about,
Matching grants. Do
Yeah.
y'all have any other projects that you're looking at? Apply again. Match up to five.
I got a house for sale.
Maybe straighten out that stairwell so it doesn't look like you get killed.
this is our house. Enjoying right here.
Anything else?
Get up for college.
Easy to come down, hard to go up when you're falling, right?
But them not taking the stairs off, just leaving the pole.
Yeah, that's a good idea for you, Ed, for Ed, the new secretary.
Yes, I had a question I had before the presentation was, I think I read the packet that in 8,000 a year to be usually on it. So my question was, what is Shore Acres, the city of Shore Acres, and the residents getting for that?
I think the one main example would most likely be the 146 efficiency out there that's kind of coming right through you, right? And then I would imagine there's folks working in this industry over here that live there, that live here, that were ultimately ensuring that, those assets remain at the peak that they are, jobs remain at the peak that they are. And that is really in our effort in Austin and DC, talking sound policy to make sure the investments keep happening here. So I'd say probably jobs, and then ultimately that 146 running right through you, the most tangible kind of touch things closest to you.
That's where we're getting our speeding tickets from. You can help us out.
I will tell you that from experience that, the railroad crossing at Berry Boulevard and Port Road, and how bad that is. I can pick up the phone 100 times, nobody will call me back. I can call Chad and he makes one phone call and it gets fixed.
Yeah, like I said early on, folks.
It's just as
It's
bad.
always,
Is it time to call again?
Right.
It's always time.
Yeah.
And then I think, and that's the good example of consider us kind of your ally and your partner when things like that come up, whether it's with industry, maybe it's Centerpoint, the railroad, let us kind of really kind of be a conduit into some of that stuff. Because we do it for the private sector too, right? With Marathon, man, they love us at this point. They weren't members. After we saved them $1.2 million, they wrote that check pretty fast. So everything kind of has a different way of, the prescription of help. So. Right.
Is this a question and answer time or no?
Yeah, shoot.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to say, whoop-de-doo, you're doing very well for yourselves, but you're not doing very well for Shore Acres. We get nothing out of that. You tie up the roads terribly with your trucks. You create a lot of accidents out there.
I want to be
trucks.
clear.
No.
I'm not the port. I want to be clear, I'm not the port.
Okay,
The
so
port is a member of us. So we're a business association, 225 members, 12 cities, we're in Harris County.
so I don't see what you're gonna do for Shore.
I guess that could be an example. If there's issues with that, again, let us be that kind of conduit and that voice into the port and understand what the issues are.
Everybody understands what's happening out of the 146. You put in hundreds and probably thousands of trucks down 146 in all at one go. Because the ship's coming in and everybody needs to go there. You can't let all those trucks go down there and disrupt the roads for all our, is it?
I know they've worked hard in kind of changing the hours on the gate. They haven't had much success in that because folks really don't drive at that point. The warehouses aren't open. But again, I don't have answers for all that, but if there is issues, we can really kind of bridge the conversation to.
Because I believe Shore Acres has heard before in the past where the port's expanding, they're only going to work 5 days a week, they're not going to work 24 hours a day. those were all lies. Just to get us to approve it and not say anything about it. It's gonna be hard to believe what they say, what they're gonna do, but I don't see them doing anything for Shore Acres. I think you should be pumping millions into Shore Acres rather than a few thousand.
I can't speak for them, that's what I'm just saying.
Understand, but I mean, this is something I want you to speak to about.
You see it
They're destroying our community, they're devaluing our houses because of all the mess all around it, because of all the trucks and everything. We want something from it now.
And this is the truth, because when I first moved here, that port wasn't here, right?
Okay.
And then it came in, and then we went to a big meeting. They were saying, we're gonna buy you out, we're gonna buy you out. Because we're gonna need people where people needs to live. Then they started dredging, and then I started getting cracks, dredging. Still, you know, when it goes through, so none of that. And so I was like, yes, we'll sell today. And I hadn't even lived in there 2 years or whatever it may be. But what is it that they're offering? We can't even get out the light, turn there. We got to go around, come around, fight the trucks. There's wrecks here 15,000 times. So if you want to be the liaison and we're paying a fee, okay, I'm in the chemical
We want something
industry,
for
so
it.
I know about economic alliance. I know I'm in that business, in that field of trade. But my thing is, if we're gonna do those kind of things and you want to come and pitch this thing to us and do a, you know, be the true liaison, because we're getting nothing here. We're getting louder noises, not peaceful.
Yep.
The deer's coming, they're not there. Everybody's tearing everything down, moving things here, but there's a lot of things happening that there's not. And if now we're paying, which I did not realize, and what are we getting? You know, and we got other needs here for this city right now.
Well,
A flagpole is nothing for this city here.
Well, I will take this as my takeaway, my action.
Okay.
You know, John Mosley, who's, I think, number 4 at the port, is on our board. So I'll inform Mr. Burke. I'll take it kind of out of my hands. It'll be Mr. Burke, and then we'll kind of approach Mr. Mosley to come back and
Right.
have a conversation with you guys. Is that
That could be good.
Yeah.
Well, it is how to limit the number of trucks going down if people want to listen to it, but
Or coming through the neighborhood.
yeah.
I heard you guys. I've heard you.
Thank you.
When they started this port construction over here, they told us that there would be about 2,000 trucks a day. And just.
There's about 6,000, I think.
They said a new record of 14,000 trucks.
Yeah.
In one day.
Their 1 hour record over there, I've been in their call center, is 1,100 in 1 hour.
That's a long way from 2,000.
Yeah.
And I think they knew that when they said it.
Of course they did.
How long ago was that?
What, 3-4 weeks ago?
Again, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm hoping that, you know, that third terminal across, the numbers I heard is about 40% of the boxes start over there and come on from over here, and it would take it all straight in shipwise over there to kind of that Baytown area. But that's still about 10 years away. It's not like it's gonna happen tomorrow, but I think that's kind of their thought of alleviating some of what's coming down here to stay on the boat over there, and then it gets shipped up north and it's not coming through.
It's hard to believe that'll happen.
And they're studying it. They're definitely studying, but again, it's gonna be, it's not
The
tomorrow.
study will come out to benefit them, not the people that live here.
When you talked about 225 that you just flow through, I'm just trying to figure out what part that is, because I drive there every day to.
It would be the entire spot from 610 down to 146 would most likely become a double decker.
Oh, it's not that way now.
Right.
Because it.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I have 8
No,
trucks on the road, and
I'm sorry,
one of them's got a
so
windshield crack
the overlay
at
part.
$1,000 a
I'm sorry, you're
piece.
talking about the overlay part that they've already overlaid.
Right.
That's definitely down towards the west end of it. But they're supposed to make their way all the way through, but they've just started down that way.
146, I'll give you credit. It's flowing that way, but 225, I haven't seen it anywhere.
Do I have information on the Women's Alliance
Oh, Lord.
in lunch?
I have a card if you want.
You have hard, yeah,
Give me.
yeah. We just had one last week and then our next one in April
Thank you.
will actually be. She's confirmed Sunny Williams, the astronaut that was.
I work for LBC. So we sent one of our
Yeah,
sales managers to the student breakfast. I spoke with
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
but I have an idea for the Women's Alliance. I'm gonna give it to my HR director.
I want to say somebody from LBC is gonna be at the industrial procurement forum on Thursday.
Take your work today. Hi, Andrew, hi.
Yes.
Yeah, Andrew will be there.
Yeah, yeah.
I
All right, everybody good? Sorry, don't- All right, thank you. Yep.
About the, can you give me another card? Maritime. Here. For the careers, we'll put you in touch with me. As our workforce.
Yeah, I'll follow up for sure.
Please do. Thank you.
Yeah. Good, everybody's good?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Sir.
So we're gonna move on to 4.0. The council reports and requests, 4.1. Oh, you're fine. An opportunity for members of council to share community news. Do you have anything?
I don't have anything this week.
I have nothing.
Okay. We're gonna move on to 5.0. You have to get word down here. Public hearing and public comments, 5.1, public comments. This is the opportunity for the public to address the council. Time is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Comments are to be directed to the city council, and dialogue with the audience is not permitted. Council members are prohibited by law from participating in the discussion or deliberations of items not specifically identified on this agenda. Anybody have anything?
I think I've said what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I'll go next.
It's Mary Becker. I live at 202 Fairfield. I didn't really plan on saying anything today, but I do want to say, in no offense to any of my neighbors in Shore Acres, but I am against us going to the city of, being incorporated into the city of LaPorte. I think people need to remember how LaPorte has been with Shore Acres over many, many years, that they've taken every opportunity to hurt us financially, to put them in a situation where we would have to capitulate. And I think that we all need to remember that, and to remember that when the port was being built, they were really in favor of the port and didn't support the city of Shore Acres when we were opposing it and opposing this large build out, because there's still the plans at that time that they were also planning, and it's probably still in their plans, to be building on this side of the port. So we need to think about that this isn't just about a financial, this is about a whole different change in the way that we live and about the way things might look along the shoreline. That just because it's the way it is now doesn't mean it will be that way if we go to LaPorte. There's nothing to hold them back from completely turning it into a parking lot along there, or to sell it and have people build homes there. This is the only place along here where people can just go and walk along the bay. All the way down in LaPorte, there are houses on the water. People don't have access unless they go all the way to Sylvan Beach, and that is a county park. So I just think people need to take all of these things into consideration. Thank you.
I'm Tammy Hynudson. I'm at 1006 Shore Acres. First, I want to approach to say that we're taking up signatures because we all know that this is the way we're going to go. There's quite a few. We're halfway there, if not more. I don't know what the rest of the signatures are. And I would like for the marquee sign that has had Heron Park on there for 3 weeks. I would like to see us put on there that a petition is being done. And if anybody is involved, so that way they get out the message instead of being on Shore Acres. I liked the positive messages that were always there. Now it's been changed, but I would like to have us to put on there that a petition is being done. People have the right to say whatever they want to say, to vote yes or no. And from my experience, I know there's been people that have been here 50 years, 60 years, such and so forth. But the change has been coming for 23 years now, and it's getting worse and worse. And the sad part about it is when they start building on this side, they're going to continue to go, and then pretty soon they're going to force you out and buy your property for however it was. Even if we wanted to vote against it for just being shore acres, there's not enough of us to change it. They're in here, they're going to come in here. If that was the case, we'd be still making money off of the freeway that's going through there. There's a lot of things that are coming for us, and we need a bigger manpower to do it and the money to do it. Even though it goes to Shore Acre, to the city of LaPorte, you're still a community, and everybody has a community, a neighborhood all throughout LaPorte. There's good neighborhoods, there's bad neighborhoods. We'll still be that community and people fighting for each other. So I know it's scary for the people that have been here, but the people that are taxed and they're held at a certain tax and they're blocked there. My husband's going to be 63 or 64. I don't even know. When he gets there, I can't wait for my taxes to freeze. But at the end of the day, you still have to have money, and there's not enough youth in here to get that from. You're going to tax people out of here before it's over with. So my opinion is maybe not somebody else's opinion. But when you see the line down that you've got money people here on the board that can tell you how the future is going for us, and you're not going to be able to afford to live here. People that have a husband and wife, one goes, the other one can't even stay here because they don't have the funds to do it. We just need the help, and we need it yesterday, not 10 years from now. And so I know it seems to be crazy. And the crazy idea, no, we don't want to, we'll still be Shore Acres, but we'll have a different forum that will be taking care of us at that point. So I'd like to see that signature base, and anybody else's helps that can sign it or not sign it, unless we can figure out how we can pay $1 million for the home that we're living in, that the port is destroying, foundation things that needs to be fixed, and a lot of other things that are going on. Because I was at that meeting years ago. They made these big promises and we still haven't seen them. So it's going to continue to be that way. That's it.
So Ed Ibarra, 145 Shady Lawn, and I'm speaking as a citizen here. And as you guys know, I just got hired on weeks ago, and I just want to write about that. First of all, I want to say how lucky I am to be working with such extremely talented and patient ladies here at City Hall. I can't believe that only in 2 weeks, I'm convinced that these women are on some kind of type of prescription medication to handle all these calls and paperwork. The amount of documents that they have to produce is enormous, and phone calls. First day there, we probably didn't get much done. And I remember just sitting with Bernie. I think it was 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. She was on one task because of the things that happened and stuff like that. So again, I've got a greater appreciation for the ladies working up there. They're remarkable, and I'm thankful that they're up there, especially the guidance that they give me. And I hope I'm able to keep up with them soon, because I want to be able to lessen the load on them, but I'm still in training. You would think that these fancy computers would help us eliminate all this paper trails, but it's not. We have stuff going into clouds and everything, but we have tons of papers that we're using to print file, and then we store these documents in the cloud, and then these trees are probably starting to faint because we're using so much paperwork. They're going to be falling over thinking they're fixed to be paper. But the other thing is that I do love their demeanor there. They managed to keep a smile and keep working on when some of the not so happy residents come in and complain about mud or puddles in their yard or stuff like that. And I'm hoping that I get there. I'm not really quite there yet. Y'all know how sharp I could have been in the past, so I'm working on that, but they don't have me at the window either, so that's a good thing. And I just can't say enough about all the great people, Troy, the staff, the police officers, and actually, speaking of Troy, he's a lot smarter than he looks. I should probably take some notes on that because I think he hired me just to keep me from to shut me up and keep me preoccupied with other things so I can't be on this side as much. So that was a good move, very good move. Very. But I'm gonna catch on and take some notes here. You're a pretty smart cookie there. But seriously, this is I have a great appreciation for the folks here, and I'm thankful that I'm getting this opportunity, and I want to make as much of the difference as I can while I'm there. And hopefully I don't hit my head too often on the high bar that they've set here. So I'll just do my best. And again, I thank y'all for the confidence you have in me, and hopefully we'll come through this together smoothly. And whatever the Lord has planned for us, we just go with that. And all I can say is thank you guys. Appreciate it. And Troy, I'll be nice. Thank you, Felicia.
Anybody else? Are you sure, Nathan?
Come on, I already know what I said.
All right, 6.0. Administrative report. 6.1 is the city manager's report.
We'll start with the cash position as of November of 2025. Actually, should be October. We just finished the month of October. I didn't see that earlier. That's my mistake. Under restricted debt, $8,208.37. And our utility deposit fund, we have $102,412.33. Over taxes, that's our tax pool account where we keep that encumbered fund, is $131,891.75. And that's a total of $245,512.45 in the restricted funds accounts. Moving to the unencumbered funds, in our general fund checking account, we currently have $76,474.11. Utility check-ins at $110,121.01. In our tax pool and our savings account, we have $513,310.59. And that total is $699,905.71. We will start receiving our tax monies in very, very soon. And these numbers, you'll start to see those until the end of the year begin to climb as we collect tax money. At some point, we will have enough cash in our general fund again. So we will transfer a sum of that money, a large sum of that money, over to the tax pool account where it draws better interest than it does in the general checking account. We see that this time of year.
One question.
Yes.
Where are we at on certification of our financials, getting caught up on that?
The bookkeeper is finished with the first year completely. The bookkeeper, not the auditor, but the bookkeeper. Bernie, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's almost through with the second year, as I understand it.
She started on.
She started, she told me she's well into that. So what we're going to do, Mr. Hill, is we're going to wait until we get all three of them, and then we're going to do the audits all at once. Right now is a horrible time because every city just started asking for their audits for most cities have departments that do this, so they're ready way before we are. But they will do all three of ours at once, and then we will, and then we should be in good standing again.
Those years specifically are 23, 22, 23, and 20, or 23, 24, and 25.
Yes, and then we have the current year that just finished.
Which would be 25.
Yes.
Okay. We have 180 days from October technically to have that. So in that 180 days where 2025 should be certified, does it look like, do you feel like we'll have all of them caught up?
According to her, she thinks so, yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll go back just in time for, the problem was because the books, a closed budget year got opened by a CPA that we were using. It threw everything off going forward. So this lady, Miss Elvia, had to go back and figure out what happened that year before she could start any of the other years. The hard part's been done. Now it's just going forward with normal stuff. The beginning of the problem was something we didn't even control, but it started everything going downhill. But now that she's finished with that part, she tells me that the rest of it should go quick.
So getting everything caught up within that 180-day time frame that we're bound to now to be in compliance should happen.
She tells me that will happen.
I'm gonna be asking you that a lot.
But that's fine. Just remember, I'm not doing them. She is, but
I understand.
that's but Ed, I'd have to be way smarter to do that. But yeah, I have confidence in her. She hasn't told me anything yet that I didn't find to be truthful. Which is different because in years past, we were led to believe things were done that weren't done. Okay, I'm sorry, Mayor, you can go on.
You're fine. 6.2 is the monthly police department report.
All right, you've got those. I will tell you, it's somber news, but we filed, as far as I know, the first ever murder case in the history of Shore Acres last week on Aviana Sullinger's death. We were able to finally get warrants and get the things we needed to search cell phones and be able to triangulate locations and retrieve text messages, not only from her phone, but from other people's phones that we got search warrants for. Very time consuming. I talked with the sergeant last week. We likely have maybe 100 hours in this case, 100 man hours, maybe more. But we secured murder charges against a young man that provided a pill laced with fentanyl. So we've had a fentanyl death in our community. We knew that very early on, but we filed the charges last week, so it's public information now. Other than that, typical month for us. Not a whole lot. We do have a lot of accidents out here. There is no denying that. Most of it is very, very low speed accidents, so nothing moves out there during the day. You know, it's bumps and bruises, but nonetheless, it backs up traffic. We continue to do a lot of house watches, continue to do the yacht club watches, the pier watches, and San Jacinto College. I'll remind you again, San Jacinto College pays us $40,000 a year to patrol their campus down here, which it's a good deal for them, but it's not a whole lot of money, and it's a good deal for us because we're already right there. So we just swing through there 3 or 4 times a shift, and they send us that check every month. If we don't forget to invoice them.
I'm on top of it now.
Thank you.
We're caught up.
That's a question on that.
Do you mind?
What do the police do to monitor the Airbnb houses? Because that one on the front there this last week was just chock-a-block with cars up and down the street. One of the cars ended up in one of the neighbors' ditches. They brought trucks in, they towed them out, left grooves in the lawn and everything like that. And it's what's happening. I don't, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't even pay taxes for that Airbnb. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Airbnbs have a association that they belong to that they pay taxes through, and then we do collect taxes on some of them. They're very tough to control with the limited people that we have. We don't have anybody dedicated to that. It would be an additional task for somebody. That house alone has caused us a lot of problems. I'll tell you that right now. And we've written them tickets, I think, for littering. We've written some different citations, but it's not always the same people. The problem is whoever owns it is willing to lease it to anybody, I think. So, you know, that's something that we try to watch out for, but
If you don't one or two breathalyzers that particular night, you'd have got some money.
I don't even know if we got a call over there until everything was gone. You know, here again, this is, what time of day was it?
Vegas police the lady turned up. I think she called in, LaPorte Police and Morgan's Point Police. There were a bunch of police there, but nobody even thought about breathalyzing somebody that's put a car in the ditch or whatever.
Was it from that house?
Mhm.
This last time?
Yes, yeah,
I missed it. I was asleep.
like 100 cars.
I noticed it.
I didn't get invited to the party.
We try to monitor those. We try to enforce city ordinances and state laws that go along with it, but we don't always have, there was a couple of times last week, somebody had to go downtown with the prisoner. So that left the city without anybody in the city for 2 or 3 hours. When that happens, it just happens. There's only one officer on.
The incident they're talking about, it happened right at midnight on Halloween. And there wasn't a word said anywhere on a message board. If you go down and talk to those people, they'll all tell you a story. They all have a story to tell, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it till Bernie told me. I saw the marks in the driveway, but I didn't know what it was.
The tracks in a neighbor's yard, and he keeps his like a golf course,
Oh, yeah.
and it's all rutted up.
I think if a little bit of leaning on some of the occupants might decide that they don't want to lease the Airbnb, you know. If nothing's done really about it, they know they're gonna get away with whatever they want to do.
There's things we can, obviously loud music, people parked on the wrong side of the road there. There's a lot of things we can address, but there's just a lot of people there and they're not breaking the law. Not a lot, but we'll continue to watch that. That's a little bit harder said than done too. We don't have a breathalyzer. We have to go find one in Deer Park or somewhere. There again, it takes the officer out of the city, so. I have a juggling act as police chief, do we go down to 146 and write citations, or do we write them on Sunrise and Miramar? Or do we go watch the stop sign at Byway and Fairfield? It's as we go over there, people's griping about that. If we go out there, people's griping about this. If we're over there, they're mad about this. So it's constant.
It's probably a good argument to say the umbrella Laporte.
Argument to be made, but if you talk to people on North and South Shady, they gripe because they never see them. I drove Bernie around today and showed her some things just one block out of the city where it's, anyway, I'm through with the police report, Mayor.
So we're moving to 6.3, the monthly public works report.
I guess you can take your choice of whichever one you want to look at. There's several in here. So there's not a problem with these reports. I've got 3, but when David Sutton's company, they can't their month out, they can't finish their month for this information until we give them our final numbers from the city. And Ray Dodd has to go read meters we have smart meters that read themselves, except for, and last month wasn't bad. There was only, Bernie, you remember how many? Like 8? There wasn't a whole lot.
We're down from,
We've had some months where there's 60 or 70.
yeah.
But until we get IUO the numbers, they can't do this. And Ed really slowed us down last week with having to, but everything in here is accurate, except for the water accountability. It's a little bit off because we didn't have final numbers. Well, we have had a lot of leaks. We've started seeing the ground shift like we normally see in June and July. It was just later this year. We probably had 6 leaks last week, but Ed and I drove around some. I kind of showed him how some of those look, and thankfully we've restocked our repair clamps over here. So in the invoices, it looks good when it says utilize Shore Acres clamp, because that saves us about 50% on what they charge for those repair clamps. But we're keeping up with everything. I think right now, I don't know that we have anything outstanding as far as a leak goes. I think we're caught up. We're still have two hydrants that I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna replace.
Alliance,
Hydrants.
alliance,
I can build a list for.
economic alliance.
Quality of life. I mean, I guess that could be quality of life.
Or
You know.
not life.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
Any questions on the Public Works report?
I noticed one complaint on Facebook about in the yard and that's, why was that because they weren't finished and haven't cleaned that up yet?
I drove over there the day that guy called in and there just wasn't a mess there. You know, when water runs free, it covers a driveway and there's some residual left, but it was not, mud like what I would think. When I went over there and saw it, I thought, man, they did a good job. This isn't bad. I've seen a lot worse. But, we went back over there today. I actually drove Bernie around a little bit today and we looked at that again and it's all gone.
Chuck, do you have anything? All right, we're gonna move to 6.4, emergency medical service.
We did not get their report today for some reason. When I emailed her this morning, when I get that, I'll forward it to council.
Seven business, 7.1 minutes from October 13th and 27th meetings.
To approve those.
Second.
Everything looked good.
All right, so no further discussion. You need to vote. Okay, we're gonna vote for the minutes for October 13th and 27th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. 7.2 is ordinance 2025-11-01. The adoption of the 2024 International Building Code, 2026 NFPA 70 National Electric Code, 2024 International Plumbing Code, 2024 International Fuel Gas Code, 2024 International Mechanical Code, 2024 International Residential Code, 2024 NFPA EA 101 Life Safety Code, and 2024 International Swimming Pool and Spa Code. Do I have a motion to discuss?
Or motion to discuss. Need a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second. There you go.
Nobody wants to know what it's about. She's trying to figure this out.
Yeah, no, we're fine. All right. So I've got a motion for approval. Seconded. So now we vote. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion passes unanimously.
I
Item,
need an individual record of.
Yes. Very much.
yes.
Mr. Greason is not here. Alderman Bill,
Yes.
Alderman Hill,
Yes.
Alderman Mitchell.
Yes.
Mayor, can I explain what y'all just did? I don't think they know. So what council just did is they brought all of our codes up to the latest code. And it mirrors what Laporte's got, except, for one, that we have the newest code and Laporte did not have it. That's the 2026. Laporte's still under 2024, but we're going to adopt 2026 because it's available now. It was not available when Laporte made their last amendment. So all we've done is update all these building codes to the most recent building codes that will allow us now to give this to Safe Bill. So when we're approving permits for new houses or for rehabilitation or something like that, they're using the latest codes and we're all in compliance.
Thank you.
8.0 adjournment. Do I have a motion
I'll make the motion.
and a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. So at 6:56 PM, this meeting is adjourned.
Hey, Barney, what happened with the water bill, like there was just.
Well, congratulations, but you know what? How would anybody know if it doesn't, it's not put out in?
I'm still in training, so
We haven't, he has not been sworn in yet.
so I'll,
Okay.
yes, I have such a new deer, it's